Hey, what's new and exciting? It's Kevin O'Shaughnessy, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to give them what they want, how to create a great headphone mix for your singer. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kevin O'Shaughnessy. I'm a hard rock recording artist, and in addition to sharing my music, I also share a lot of my ideas on music production, performance, especially guitar, and songwriting. And so I'm just looking to help determined musicians such as yourself make better music more confidently. And today I want to talk about headphones for singers. Okay, I've seen a lot of stuff over the years, people talking about headphones, and they're talking about what kind of gear to buy and what kinds of things that you can do to make a vocalist more comfortable in the studio. But they don't ever really address the problem with headphones. I've seen a couple of people touch on it, and I really want to expand on it. And it has a lot to do with, or rather it has everything to do with how a singer hears things in the headphones. So most of the time, if you've been doing recording for a little while, having a good set of closed ear headphones is usually kind of a staple thing. And for singers, sometimes you'll see people recommending that you get open ear headphones because it sounds more natural. And then as the engineer, you need to deal with the bleed of the backing track coming back into the microphone and such. And, or there might be, different gear purchases that you want to do. But the problem really comes down to this. What a singer hears when they're wearing headphones of any kind is largely just the bass frequencies, the lower frequencies of their voice that are resonating in their own skull. So to give you an idea of what that sounds like, you're basically looking at something like this.
Am I just another dreamer, refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
When a singer wears headphones, that's about what they're hearing, okay? This is from a song called Who Am I that I put on my album, Persistence of Vision. And so these are already recorded tracks, but I'm going to use them to give you a demonstration first of what a singer usually hears when they're wearing headphones and what happens when we dial in, as engineers, when we dial in what we think is a good headphone sound for the vocalist. So check this out. If I take that same spot, and here, this is what the track sounds like actually recorded.
Am I just another dreamer, refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
Okay, so you can hear that it's recorded well, it's balanced. I don't have any plugins up here or anything like that. So this is just what was recorded. And so if I start blending that in to the headphone mix, right, this is what that's going to sound like.
Am I just another dreamer, refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
And so you notice that it sounds good, right? The vocal by itself, the one that I recorded, sounds good. So if that's what you're feeding your vocalist, we think that that's going to be a great sound, except the low frequencies in the headphone feed are going to reinforce the low frequencies that are resonating in the skull of the singer. So it's still going to sound muddy. And when you do end up putting that back in and you actually put the track with it, it's not going to give the singer the clarity they need to give the performance that you're looking for.
Am I just another dreamer, refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
So, of course, obviously the first thing that you might do in there is just pull the fader down on the backing track.
Am I just another dreamer, refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
But you still hear how the voice is a little bit muddy. And of course, this is a simulation, so you can't really look at the faders as being an accurate representation of what the faders would look like in an actual session. This is previously recorded stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you a sense of what the singer hears when we as engineers feed them what we think would be a good headphone mix. We're just listening to the final product. We're listening to what's coming through the computer, what's coming through our DAW, and we're sending that back to them. It's like, oh, hey, this sounds pretty good. What we need to do, the solution to this problem, is to feed them what they don't have, which is the high frequency information. So if I go back to this headphone simulation here.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up?
Okay, what that looks like is this. This is essentially what they're missing, is all this stuff in green. Okay, that's how I created this sound. But that's about what it sounds like when a singer's wearing headphones. So what we need to do is we need to reverse that. So what I will do is I will put a shelf filter on here, and usually somewhere maybe around 1K. I'll boost anywhere from 6 to 12 dB. It all depends on the singer, the range of the singer, the range of the song, how high or low are they singing. Those are some of the things that you'll want to think about when you're doing this. And then the other thing that I will do is the reverse, usually somewhere around 300, 500, somewhere in there. Again, depending on those same criteria, I will put in a shelf filter and I will cut the lows, okay? And so then what you get is this.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
Now, that obviously sounds awful, but if you're a singer who, let's actually put this over here, make a copy of this, and flip it, but if this is what you're hearing in the headphones already,
am I just another dreamer?
And you put those together,
refusing to wake up. Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
the two parts complement each other and the singer gets what they need, which is a well-balanced representation of their voice as a whole. So if we put that back in there with the band.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
Now you start to get, if you're the singer, you start to hear your voice the way you are expecting to hear your voice, and you can give the performance that you need to fit the song. Okay, now after that, you can do whatever you want. You can compress it, you can add reverb. Some vocalists like reverb. Too much is, well, too much, but a little bit sometimes can help quite a bit. But then the vocalist has what they need, and then they can give a good performance, and they don't have anything that they don't. They don't need that buildup of bass frequencies. They just need to get the diction, the articulation, all that stuff comes in the higher frequencies. So if you filter out a lot of those lows, you can set that up in such a way, and your singer's going to love you for it, because it's going to complement what they're hearing in their headphones, which is a big buildup of bass frequencies. So you want to get that out of their cans. So that scenario right there is basically, if you're recording yourself, it's pretty easy. You can just slap those EQs on your track, whatever you're recording on. It's non-destructive EQ, so you're recording first and then you're filtering. So that really won't be a problem. Of course, if you want to check back to see what you've heard, you'll need to toggle the EQ on and off, which can be a little bit of a pain, but it's not really that big a deal. But let's say you're working with another singer. Okay, what you can also do is you can set up a couple of aux tracks. Now, if you've got an interface that has more than one output and you can hook a headphone amp up to another output, then it's actually a pretty simple scenario. Okay, what you do is create an aux track for your music and create an aux track for your vocal monitor. And in this case, I don't know if you can read it on the screen, but I have them bust out to the SPDIF output. Okay, I'm not using it for anything, but the reason I have the SPDIF output set up is because in the Motu audio setup here, I can select my headphone assignment. So in other words, the headphone jack that's coming out of the interface can be assigned to all of these different things. It could be the main out, these various analog outputs on the interface, or the SPDIF. So if I set this to SPDIF, okay, and I set these aux outputs to SPDIF, I have now created a dedicated headphone mix. So I can go in before the singer has come into the session. I can come in and I can do a rough set of this headphone mix. So I can put in my EQ, right, which you can see has that sort of what I kind of call a seesaw curve. In this case, again, I wouldn't necessarily need to do this on a session, because recording the track, I'd have the gain stage to control the input. But in this case, since I'm using a previously recorded track to demonstrate this, I'm inserting a trim plug-in here so that I can lower the volume of the EQ. Some EQs, I think on Pro Tools, even have an output level, but this one here doesn't. So I'm putting in a trim so that I can drop this down. As you can see here, at one point when I played this, it peaked at 0.5 dB above 0. So I do that, and if I needed to, also I could put in a limiter to do that. And so that'll control the levels going out to the headphone mix. This is not the stuff that you're going to hear. This is what the singer's going to hear. So if I play that through.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up?
See, now that's the signal going straight through. When I add the plugins.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up?
You can't hear anything. That was a trick demonstration because it's going through the SPDIF, okay? But if I change this, let's put this back to main out, you can hear what's going on. And I'm going to set this to, this is set on pre-fader here so that I can turn this off. You can hear what's going on.
Am I just another dreamer refusing to wake up? Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
Now I can add a reverb track to that, or a reverb plug-in to that if I want to. And I've got the band going through another output. Again, I would set this through SPDIF so that this is going straight out to the headphone mix alone, which meant I could monitor what was coming into the computer off the main outs. But if I put the band in there, I can hear this.
Am I just another dreamer?
And of course, if I put all that stuff together, I can blend the band in with the vocal.
Am I just another dreamer?
Actually, I got to do the same thing here. Sorry about that. Let me mute that band. Here we go.
Refusing to wake up. Am I another guilty pleasure you'd be willing to take up?
Now, of course, what the singer would hear, I'm going to turn this EQ back on the main track. The singer would hear something slightly different. Actually, that's not what the singer would hear. I got that backwards. Sorry about that. But that would blend all of these things together. So you'd hear this, the boomy part of that. That's what the singer hears in their headphones. But of course, I would be bringing this in. Right? So that high-end stuff without the bass information would sit on top of the vocal, and I could control the level of the band if they wanted it quieter.
Who seems to get it right sometimes?
That would be a very simple thing to do. So that is, in my experience, the best way to give them what they want. Get a great headphone mix for your singer so that they can deliver the performance that is required for the song. I hope you guys found that useful. If you do, share it, like it, add a comment to the video if you wouldn't mind, and tell me what your experience with headphone mixes is. And If there's anything else that I can help you on, I'd be delighted to do it. And if you've got any tricks of your own, please leave those in the comments too, because I'm always trying to learn new things as well. And I hope we can have a dialogue about this. So again, I'm Kevin O'Shaughnessy. I hope you found this useful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the next video.